Unity, a force that has carried man through every dark period in history. It compels us to help the oppressed and the needy because a sense of unity is a driving force in our own humanity. From the Stonewall riots for the gay liberation movement to Ferguson in an effort to fight against racism aimed at blacks. Despite any consequence, our ability to rally together for the greater good is an immutable feat. During World War II, the Allied countries fought against the tyranny of Hitler and his regime, not only because of the danger of war on their land, but because their humanity drove them towards saving the Jews. This resulted in a better world for them, as is our goal when fighting for the rights of a struggling minority. The expanding horizons of people are always augmenting to include those left in the bits of darkness at the ends. Though minorities still fight for their rights to exist and be seen as equal, their ability to stick together has consistently given them more and more, no matter how fast or slow. Throughout time, this has been a repeating scenario. However, even when it seems there is not quite a leading voice for one's cause yet, there will always be someone else out there fighting for that same thing. Women's education and rights, or Sikhs fighting against being perceived and generalized as a terrorist. These marginalized peoples and issues will eventually reach their apex when fighting against prejudices once their voices reach a lion's roar. These important past and future points in history reflect the need to remain unified for us and others. But during these times, not only did the minority fight for itself, the majority must also fight for the cause, and the human desire to unify to better help the people is what keeps two seemingly different groups together. I myself am part of the LGBT community, and I take pride in the strides we have made in gaining visibility and acceptance over the past century or so. We can openly serve in the military, government, and many businesses where we are now legally protected from the loss of our jobs on the grounds of our preference. However, something I hope we can overcome in time through unity of our community and supporters is the fear of coming out. There is not one LGBT person who did not feel despair at the thought of coming out, because they are led to believe that it is not right or normal to be who they are. However, I live in the hopes that one day this thought will also fade into the framework of history, and only if we promote change together can we remove this fear from our minds, because all people may not be LGBT, but all LGBT citizens are people, so they must feel as such. Without the accumulating pleas of acceptance reverberating through the air, the world would be like a giant cookie-cutter mold, void of quirks and self-expression. But because we fight for the right to exist, we can feel whole and like ourselves while actually expressing who we are. Unity against evil has never failed to help the world, and it will always be the strongest way to break down walls to better the lives of the oppressed, and to change the course of history on both personal and global levels despite insurmountable odds. And that is why I believe in the abilities of unity.